Hi there, Greg Goodman joining you with episode 202 of Southern Gospel Now. Our program is made possible by daywin.com, where you'll find Southern Gospel music, soundtracks, and Christian products. One of Southern Gospel's most loved songwriters, Squire Parsons, passed away Monday, May 5th at the age of 77. His career began in 1969 with the Calvarymen Quartet. Mr. Parsons was a part of the Kingsmen from 1975 to 1979. He enjoyed success as a soloist later in his career and also with two groups that he started, Squire Parsons and Redeemed, as well as the Squire Parsons Trio. His song Beulah Land was awarded the Singing News Fan Award for Song of the Year in 1981. It is one of the most loved gospel songs of all time and has been recorded by numerous groups and artists. His songwriting credits include I Call It Home, The Greatest of All Miracles, Look for Me at Jesus' Feet, and Hello Mama, to name a few. He was awarded the Singing News Fan Award for Songwriter of the Year 5 times. He became a member of the Gospel Music Hall of Fame in 2000 as a member of the Kingsmen. He was inducted into the Southern Gospel Music Hall of Fame in 2008. Arthur Rice, president of the Southern Gospel Music Association, reflects on his friend that he traveled with as part of Squire Parsons and Redeemed.
When I woke up early this morning, I was driving into church, and I got to thinking about Squire telling me the story of how he wrote Beulah Land and how that early morning drive into the school, and he said he saw as the sun was coming up, and words kind of came to him, said, I'm kinda homesick. Said he drove a little further and the words just kept coming. For a country. Said he got a little further, to which I've never been before. Well, he's there today and he's getting to see what we could only imagine. Love Brother Squire, and we look forward to seeing him just in a few more days.
Greg Bentley is director of A&R for Crossroads Music. He spent many years as a performer before getting involved in the management side of the industry. He was the tenor singer for the Squire Parsons Trio from 1995 to 2005. He shares some reflections on his friend, Squire Parsons.
Many knew his music, his songs, his writing, either from his own or from what he wrote for the Kingsmen or Gold City or the Kingdom Heirs. He was truly one of a kind. I got to travel with Squire for 10 years, close to 1 million miles traveling with him on a bus. I saw him in the worst times. I saw him when he was sick. I saw him in the great times. I saw him when we were singing at Dr. Stanley's church in Atlanta, Dr. Jim Henry's church in Orlando, Dr. Adrian Rogers' church in Memphis, some of the largest churches in America. Pour out his soul, pour out his heart, give them everything that he had. And then the very next week, we were at Piney Flats Baptist Church in somewhere in rural America that ran 25, 30 people. He got off the bus at those churches the same way he did at the largest auditoriums. And he gave those people what they needed through gospel music that would speak to them from the Lord into their lives. There will never be another Squire Parsons, nor should there ever be. God placed him here on this earth for a special reason, at a special time, for a special purpose. He will be greatly missed. I will greatly miss my dear friend Squire. May his family be encouraged to know that thousands of people will make it to sweet Beulah Land because of the work and the music that he did.
Jim Brady has referred to Squire Parsons as a mentor and hero. He shares a very special story.
Well, I'm sitting here in tears as I think about my hero, Squire Parsons, who has just moved to Beulah Land. He's home. He's in the place that he's written about and sung about for so many years. And I can't help but think about the impact he's made on my life and millions of others. And I know I'm truly going to miss my friend and my hero. And gospel music is going to miss one of the greatest of all time. There will never be another Squire. And I'm reminiscing on how many of his songs I know by heart. I don't have to look them up and try to remember the lyrics. I know them because they have impacted my life in a powerful way. They've become the soundtrack of my life. And I remember one time as a kid begging mom and dad to take me to one of his concerts, and I believe it was at a church in Mississippi. And they agreed to take me, and we went that night. And I remember as we pulled up to the church, the place was absolutely packed. People were so excited to see Squire, and I couldn't wait to see him. I was so excited. And as a kid, his powerful voice and his amazing songwriting just blew me away. And that night, his bus had broke down, so he was running his own sound. He was running his own tracks, and he was alone, but he did an amazing job. And the anointing of the Lord was so strong on him, and his voice was so powerful, and he sang his heart out that night. But as intermission hit, my brother and I were going to try to find the restrooms. And it was an older church building, so the restrooms were not in the lobby like most churches. They were behind the platform and behind the baptistry. So we had to walk through a hallway behind the baptistry to try to find the restrooms. And so my brother and I were walking back through that hallway, and my crazy brother was opening every door that he could find to see if it lead us to the restrooms. And I'll never forget, as he opened one of the doors, I saw Squire in the room, and he was on his knees, and he was asking God for the anointing, asking God to bless the concert and bless the people who came that night. And I felt bad at first because I felt like we interrupted a sacred moment, but I have never forgotten that. And as I think about him and his life tonight, I realize he not only taught us how to write songs and how to sing them, but he taught us how to live them.
Please lift the Parsons family in your prayers as they mourn this great man. Caleb Banks of Phillips & Banks has been dealing with ongoing health problems and gives us an update.
If you follow our ministry page, you can see that I've been going through a lot of health problems in the last couple years. I've been a diabetic my whole life, but just recently I've been diagnosed with stage 4 kidney disease and diabetic retinopathy and things with blood pressure, and the list goes on. Through it all, I've had bouts of depression and anxiety and things that I've never experienced before. But let me tell you this, that I've also experienced the grace of God and the faithfulness of God like I never have before. It's funny, when we walk through these trials and things, we have to trust the Lord with things that we've never had to before. And not once has He ever left me. Not once has He ever forsaken me, and I don't believe that He ever will. I know the Lord is good and that He's working all things for my good. And I want to encourage you, He's doing the same thing for you today. So if you would continue to pray with us, because we're believing for miracles, I believe the Lord will do the same for you.
Let's continue to cover Caleb in prayer. Greater Vision checks in with an update. Quote, for the last few weeks, I suppose the most asked question we've heard is, who is your new singer? If you've seen us recently, you've been able to watch and listen in as we've had several different faces on the platform with us. Jim Brady, Isaac Hughes, Cody Schoenfeld, Aaron Swain, Richie Hartsfield, Glenn Price, and Carson Edwards have been gracious to help us during this time of transition. All these guys have been great to travel with, and they've been very well received by our audiences. They've given us the opportunity to not feel rushed in making a very important decision. We wanted to take this opportunity to publicly thank these friends for jumping in to help us out. We also want to thank you for your continued prayer support as we work toward making a final decision on our new group member. Please continue to pray that we would be sensitive to the Lord's guidance. End quote. The latest song from The Sound is Standing With You, which talks about a young man at a See You at the Pole prayer event. The song is based on a true story, according to Rob, Levi, and Jacob Mills.
What a great story it is that, you have this 9-year-old boy who gives an example of what it is to stand even if nobody else is standing.
Except in the song we said he was 11 because it fit the meter.
It fit the meter a little better.
See, because when you're writing, you gotta have you gotta have syllables. You gotta make sure the syllables are right. And so in the story he's 11, but in real life he was 9.
Yeah, there was a little writer's liberty with that. But
what we wanted to convey is that even when it seems like you're standing alone, you're never alone.
That's exactly right.
See You at the Pole will take place nationwide September 24th. Time for a look at the top songs of the week from the Power 50 chart.
Number 5.
Sunshine on a Cloudy Day. Jeff and Sherry Easter.
You're my sunshine on a cloudy day. You're my rain when the clouds are away.
Number 4.
I'd Rather Hear Preaching, Greater Vision.
I'd rather hear preaching, singing, praying, shouting, where everyone's agreeing, nobody's down.
Number 3.
If Not for Christ, The
Wisnuts. If not for Christ,
Number 2.
I Just Stopped By on My Way Home, The Kingsmen.
I just stopped by on my way home.
Number 1.
Life Giving Us Life, Peach Goldman.
I see the life giving us life.
This makes 3 weeks in a row for Peach Goldman at number 1 with Life Giving Us Life. That's our program. You're welcome to go back and explore Southern Gospel news and interviews over the past few years. You'll find all 202 episodes of Southern Gospel Now wherever you find podcasts or at southerngospelnow.com. Southern Gospel Now is made possible in part by southerngospelprizes.com, where you'll currently find the Karen Peck and New River Prize Pack. Details and registration at southerngospelprizes.com. I'm Greg Goodman. Be sure to love your neighbor. I'll see you next week on Southern Gospel Now.